Welcome to this Rudge Remedies video on the 1937 to 39 Ulster cylinder head identification and assembly tips. This video should be viewed in conjunction with Remedies 29 from my site, which contains further hints and tips and all dimensions of the critical parts on the cylinder head. So this is the 38 Ulster cylinder head, with 13 fins across the front, a rocker box fixing bolt in the centre at the front, which is the 8th bolt, 26 TPI pushrod tunnel tube thread and 1/2 inch short reach plug. The 37 variant is identical except that it doesn't have this fixing here for the rocker box. So this is the 39 alloy Ulster head variant. Note that it has the extra 8 bolt fitting at the front, but has 15 fins across the front. It differs also in having a long reach spark plug and a thread for the pushrod tunnel at 20 TPI. It also has 3/8 Whitworth exhaust stub fitting bolts, and the rocker box cover bolts are also specific to this head in being that they are longer. This is the post-war Bailey bimetal head, distinguished from the Ulster head in 1939 by being bimetal. You can see here this extra material here. Also, that obviously the cylinder head is bimetal, with the skull being bronze and the fins being aluminium. In all other respects, these are identical to the 39 aluminium heads. On all cylinder heads, check for wear on the inlet spindle. Fit the inlet spindle and check for lift and movement here. If there is significant movement in this pillar, then this should be line reamed and sleeved to suit. On bronze heads, they should always be checked for cracks. Bronze heads crack between the plug hole and the exhaust seat, here or here. Aluminium heads are not known to crack, but they are prone to damage to any of the threads. So all the rocker box holding down threads should be checked, and more importantly, the holding down inserts. These were fitted by Rudge at the factory and peened each side using a Brunel hardness tester to hold the insert. You can see that this one has suffered damage already and been replaced. It's important to check these because they will pull out of the head if they are not secure. All valves should be fitted and trimmed to length. The measurement is 1.5 inches from the machined face alongside the guide to the tip of the valve. Trim all the valves to this dimension and then fit the inlet rocker and use this to check for equal lift. File off or grind off so that you get equal lift on both inlet valves. If the inlet rocker bushes are changed, it's advantageous to reduce the slot here in the bush to reduce the oil leakage from the inlet rocker. This will increase the pressure to the exhaust rockers to their benefit. The exhaust rockers are correctly fitted when there is minimal side play. and this can be achieved by changing the thrust washers or reducing the width of the bush. Be very careful with aluminium heads, as excess strain on the pillars can snap them off. When assembling the exhaust rocker train, make sure there is clearance between the end of the bolts here and the cylinder head. Shorten the bolts if necessary. Also, you may find that this nut here needs to be ground off to clear the rocker cover. Some people advocate that the bushes in the 3 exhaust rockers are best fitted with the oil holes downward. This means the oil exits there first on the thrust face of the rocker, causing less wear. A completed 1938 cylinder head, and some points to note. There are no washers on any of the oil pipe banjos, and this is because in practice fibre washers or copper washers can cause the bolts to come loose. The only washer present is below the incoming union, where the union seats to the head, and this is a copper washer. This head is assembled with 60-pound valve springs, which are recommended today as they're less strenuous on the valve gear. Check also the oil pipe clearance here between the pillar and the pipe. Make sure this isn't touching or it will fret. Once the head is assembled, you can inject oil on the inlet and look for the lubrication at all the points coming from the rockers. And of course, any leaks from the oil pipes which need to be rectified. The inlet rocker side-to-side play should be minimised as much as possible, again to prevent excess oil from leaking from the inlet side. Once the head is assembled, then the rocker box should be added to check that it fits cleanly, snugly and flat on the head, and do this without a gasket being fitted. This will ensure that when the gasket is added, it will seal adequately. So this rocker box sits nice and flat and is not fouling any of the oil pipes inside, so is good to go. Note the inspection cover bolts as per the spares list, not slot-headed screws. Once all checks have been completed, all the nuts should be Loctited with a low strength nut lock or thread lock. And that's the end of this video, and thank you very much for watching.